What up, gang? Thank you for stopping by the Truckers Lounge. I'm your host, Priest, along with my co-host, Gene.
All right.
Yeah, we got some new news that broke a few days ago, and some updated news. Want to report on the story, man, out of North Kingstown, Rhode Island.
Right.
Yeah, man, we got a small carrier up there that just got hit by a healthy fine by the United States Attorney's Office District of Rhode Island. They reported that M&D Transportation was caught up in a scam of emission tampering. The owner of M&D Transportation is Mr. Michael J. Collins.
Yeah.
Yeah, they convicted him for conspiring to violate Clean Air Act through diesel truck engine tuning to bypass emission controls. It said he admitted to disabling truck monitoring systems so vehicles could operate without emission by increasing their horsepower and torque. And that caused, according to the EPA, a hike in pollution due to carbon emission. They sentenced Collins to 3 years probation with a $50,000 fine on his persons and $250,000 fine in total to his companies. They said the scheme involved trucking companies nationwide and foreign, national over nearly 5 years. Vehicles were tuned up via laptop connected to engines, disabling emission control detection. Businesses were marked on their business for doing the work was marked on Facebook at $3,650 per truck. The funds were split between the co-conspirators, according to the Rhode Island District Attorney's Office,
Mm,
and they aim to increase profits by reducing truck maintenance needs, but
mm,
violated environmental laws.
right.
Feels sometimes like the environmental laws go hand in hand with the uh, uh, maintenance community in diesel.
Hmm. Well, at times, it would feel that way because most of the issues with the maintenance laws, it seems like it hurts the small trucker.
Yeah, it
it,
does.
it, it feels that way at times because that $3,600 payment that lets me know, well, from the years that I've been hearing about, guys getting their trucks deleted, was somewhere between $1,500 to $3,600 price range that I've been hearing. Guys who had older trucks with just the EGR valve,
Right.
they was looking at about 1,500. Guys who had the newer trucks with the complete DEF system, they were looking at about $3,600 to get their stuff
Has it
deleted.
always been 3,600 though for the newer trucks? Like even back in 2000? Well, you said it came out when?
I remember DPF coming out around 2009, 2008, 2009. Then DEF came out around 2010, 2011. Not too long after that, when the
Right.
DEF came out. Guys weren't, far as I know, guys weren't deleting it right away at the time because shops had to get the opportunity to learn the system and learn how to work it.
Yeah,
So
I just wanted to agree with you. You are right. I don't know where my mind was because I forgot. Because I remember a mechanic explained to me how they work. They use the computer to actually delete it, but they
uh,
have to mechanically go in there and block off your EGR so that liquids won't flow. So go ahead.
right.
Yeah, I just wanted to interject to let you know I'm back on track now.
Yeah.
I started drinking my coffee.
Yeah. Now some shops would do it one of two ways. Now some shops wouldn't do a complete delete.
Right.
Some shops would just delete it, through the computer. Just go in the
Mm.
computer, plug their computer up to your truck and delete it in the ECM so the ECM wouldn't recognize it. And
Right.
so basically they'd do a delete that way. Other shops would actually go in and delete it and block stuff off,
Right.
so that it's no longer being used for
Right.
oil and that coolant to pass through it.
Exactly. Exactly. You're right. They had two ways of doing it.
Right.
Right. Yeah. 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 It's coming back to me now.
Hmm.
Cause I had an older truck I wanted to get deleted, but I ended up backing off of it because you heard so many different horror stories about so many things to go wrong if the mechanic didn't know what he was doing.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that was pretty much what a lot of those guys face. But
Mhm.
this guy, I guess a lot of people would probably want to know why would someone want to delete the truck, you
Right.
know, as opposed to hey, why not just go and get you another truck? Man,
Right.
it's so many variables tied into that. Some guys, a lot of guys, a lot of us are emotionally tied
Yeah.
to the equipment. And I know you've spoken a lot of times. Like for people who may not know, you know, I was one that was kind of fairly emotionally tied to my truck because I got
Yes,
it
you
out the
were.
mud. I got it
Yeah.
out the mud,
Hmm.
and so I tried to do what I could to take care of it,
Right.
and try to do what I could to stay on top of my maintenance. I'm like, well, I'm not gonna go get nothing new. But then you come to those crossroads at times where you're trying to figure out, okay, do I keep what I have
Right.
or do I upgrade?
Right.
Right now I'm not really consistent enough to upgrade and get a brand new truck payment. But at the same time, what I got is causing problems.
Right.
you know,
Exactly.
and so those are the crossroads, and that's where we've stressed a lot about having that business education, to have gone to school for
Very
business, having an
important.
understanding for business, because it teaches you to take your emotions out of it
Right.
and say and look at the numbers. So
Right.
regardless of what I like or what I have, this is what I have to do. And sometimes when you getting it out the mud, you don't always know, dog, what I don't know which way to go.
Right.
So I'm just trusting in God, maybe, to
Exactly.
lead me the right way. And
Yeah.
so a lot of guys would probably hold on to what they have, because if you get you a newer truck, you get a new truck and you start having those issues out of that truck, and all of a sudden, okay, if you decide to keep it, what are you going to deal with in the long run in repairs and maintenance costs keeping it? If you
Right.
decide to get you something new, add up the cost of doing all those things. So I think those guys, every guy will have to make a personal decision on what's going to be the best for them. Talk to a CPA,
Right.
because it's so crucial to understand, to thrive in your business, to understand what's going to be the best step for you.
Right, right, and then and then on top of that, it just well, at one point in time, it's hard to say if it's still like this, but it just depends on what are you in trucking for. Are you in trucking to just be trucking, or are you being in trucking to actually grow your business? And when I say trucking, I'm speaking from the owner operator's perspective.
Right.
If you're in there to grow your business, like Gene said, you can't have sentimental value. You got to be looking at growing, and that truck is a machine that could always be replaced.
Hmm.
Yeah. So in short, doing business, please stay analytical. It'll get you far. It'll
It
get
would.
you far.
It would.
Yeah, so on to some more news. We got some good news for some drivers who were caught up in between the storm between the FMCSA and some ELD companies that they put on the revoked list.
Right.
Let's see here. We got the Federal Motor Carrier, where the FMCSA has reapproved power trucks ELD devices. I repeat, they have reapproved power trucks ELD devices for continued use after it was revoked earlier this month, back on December the 1st. Power Trucks was one of the 10 electronic logging devices removed from the FMCSA's registered list due to technical compliance issues. Thousands of truck drivers face the possibility of switching back to paper logs or replacing their hardware. But today there is some relief for the FMCSA announced the Power Truck ELD is now back online
Okay.
and back on their approved list here. So the first the first company, it was two. It was 10 of them total that was revoked. That was revoked. The
Right.
first one that came into compliance, it was called CV Options LLC. They was reinstated on December the 8th.
Okay.
So that leaves 8 more left, which they got plenty of time. They got
Yeah.
plenty of time to
Yeah,
get
they
it
do.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, give us some of the requirements, for the people who want to know what were some of the requirements that they needed to meet that caused them to get revoked.
Okay, so yeah, so some of the minimum requirements that the FMCSA has laid out was the first one was no editing of automatically recorded drive time data. So they saying that the ELD must not allow for drivers to or the administrators to edit any driving time that is recorded automatically based on vehicle motion. Any edits made must be visible at roadside inspection. You know, we talked about that once before they came out with the mandate. You know, they was allowing the administrators to give their drivers like a 10 like a 10-15 mile variance
Right,
on the drive on their drive time, and the administrators could edit the log. So if a driver said that he started his log uh, too early, or it was a false start, they can go in and change it.
right,
Now they
right,
can't do that. So if you started your log too early and it was by accident or something like that, hey, tough luck. Your company cannot no longer go in and make that edit for you.
right, right.
That second requirement, minimum requirement, was accurate recording per ELD technical specifications.
Hmm.
The ELD must capture and record all movement, duty status changes, locations, and other data points in accordance with all the parameters spelled out in the FMCSA's technical documentation. Any discrepancies or apparent gaps in the compliance may risk the ELD losing certification.
Right.
The number three one is a capability to provide timely responses and updates. The LD provider must have the capability to respond to and address any issues raised by the FMCSA about the device's logs and recordings within required timeframes. This includes making technical fixes and modifications when necessary. Non responsiveness risk revocation. I wonder if that's some of the reason why some of those got placed on that blacklist. You know, got blacklisted. I wonder if they responded in a timely frame to any issues. Did the FMCSA reach out to them? You know,
Yeah, the FMCSA sent out emails according to this guy that owned Blue Ink
okay,
ELD.
okay,
I think his last name Regal, and
okay,
he said that they do reach out, but they were either probably just purposely ignoring it, or they probably didn't pay it no mind because there's no telling how many emails they get from the FMC and say there's an update on this, or they advertising this, or they have this banquet going on, and it could have
right,
been easily overlooked. But at the same time, when you look at the minimum requirements that they want, that's too much like putting the shackles on drivers, man. I'm just gonna be honest with you, because
yeah,
anybody who say they running a trucking business right now, honest, in my opinion, I think you're telling. Well, I think you're being dishonest. I really think you're being dishonest, because there's no way you can be successful in the trucking industry right now with the change that's going on, because we caught up in the middle of a change in systems, a change in regulations. So there's no way you could be running it honest, because nobody is fully used to what's going on. Because the only ones that really got the heads up are the ones that's a member of organizations like the ATA, way well before the change happened. So it's kind of hard to be successful when they got all these changes going on. Them requirements that they want, that meant a lot. That, I mean, that really helped out a lot on
yeah,
being able to move around, find parking. You I mean, you 20 miles out from your delivery, and you got to shut down for 10 hours. No, real trucker's not going to shut down a full 10 hours and you only 10 miles out. He going to PC in,
yeah,
you know.
yeah,
So I know it's the rule. No, we're not supposed to go against the rule, but rules are made by man. You see, they got other stuff going on. They trying to create that just don't make no sense. Just because it's a rule, in my opinion, doesn't mean it makes sense.
yeah. I understand.
This is gonna cause so much shit. I mean, like, one hand, you don't want drivers parking on the side of the road to get their break in. Then on the other hand, you want to nitpick at these requirements that can allow them to get somewhere safe. If the
Yeah,
administrator can't change anything, How can he get the driver in a safe parking spot? I mean, you really changing a lot right there with these minimum requirements.
Yeah,
You saying whatever driver run out of time at, that's where he got to shut down. But you don't want him there. Where he's shutting down, and you don't want him there. You know, he wake up, he might be booted, or he might be hooked up to a tow truck now. So what's really going on here?
yeah, yeah. Those are a lot of issues. So when you say you don't think that too many are being successful, what would be the definition of success? Just in terms of being successful. Ju-
Success is really your own preference, but the true definition of success is when your assets outweigh your liabilities. But when I'm talking about in the trucking industry with the rates, well, like during this holiday season, the rates being okay but not consistent. I mean, what kind of success can you have when you in a business where every minute counts?
Right.
I need every second, every minute to count. If I'm getting held up in traffic, that's killing my time. We've seen traffic in a lot of these places. I had a guy that was driving back and forth down there in Florida, Tampa, 70 miles away. This man had to take back roads and
Yeah,
all this kind of crap just to get around traffic. Every driver don't know how to navigate the highways like that because we
that's
got so
true.
many new guys coming in.
That's true.
So yeah, it's going to be difficult to be successful with a market where the rates are low and the regulations are putting a severe strain on you.
Yeah, and those all of those things coming together does make everything tough for the owner operator.
Yeah. Can you imagine the audits that's going to be getting ready to start coming down now if they hadn't already started doing it? If they doing all this, that's right around the corner. When we got started, we had our the audits that they normally do, your
Right, your
input and
your
all
first
that.
audit. Yeah.
Right. And they tell you like every what, like 20 some odd months or so that you'll have another audit coming up, and we never saw another one came. Well, I know I didn't.
Right.
You know,
Right.
so now this probably finna pick up. How many guys are gonna be ready? How many guys are gonna have their paperwork in order? Um, Now the laws are, the regulations are so tight now, you can't really cheat. And then you got these brokers that don't understand the trucking side. You got so many brokers that never been in a truck, and
Yeah.
they act like you supposed to fly over traffic.
Right. They want you to get it there. A lot of
Mo- and most of them don't even understand the regulations,
right.
but they want you to make it happen. So you're dealing with a lot right there. You're dealing with, if you can't get this broker to understand, if he's just an agent and the only thing he's concerned is when you book the load, you're supposed to get it there. It's gonna be difficult to have continuing success, in
Right.
my opinion, with all this going on. Because like I say, the dynamic of the industry is changing,
It is.
and it's changing drastically. So we caught up in the midst of this change.
Right. And we don't know what the new norm is going to be.
Right.
You
You
know.
don't know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Every time there's a major shift in the industry, there's always a new norm, and you don't know what that new norm is going to be and how long it's going to
Right.
last before it changes to another new norm.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So,
So
so it is what it is on that. But on to the next piece of topic. We got a piece of news here that we all hate to talk about, but we love to triumph when it's working. So we got a small fleet owner who's leading a boycott against bigger brokers. Let's see here. Let me read this here. Is this
hey, go ahead.
bulletin? Group of small carrier owners is organizing boycotts targeting large brokers like TQL and JB Hunt. That's surprising. The
Right.
I'm being sarcastic. But anyway, the movement aims to fight low rates and alleged unethical business practices, including accusations of stealing money and overcharging for repairs. Is being led by Mr. Mike Boston. He's the co-owner of a small fleet in Pennsylvania. Boston says a recent damage claim from TQL for trailer repairs motivated him to take action. After starting the owner operator Facebook group, Boston and its members planned a month long boycott of TQL freight that launched on March 6th. They hope to force rates up through coordination. Boston alleges risk to his business, but feels like he has no choice with brokers controlling information and rates. The group now has 23,000 members as frustration builds. The
Mm,
month long boycott continues through April 6th. Boston says he's already seeing the broker reach out more to carriers during the protest, but the group wants tangible rates, improvement before considering ending and coordinating blacklisting. Okay, so I like this here
right. That's
because
good.
he's not giving in to just the bare minimum. He wants
Right.
something in writing, tangible.
Hmm.
He want contracts, and that's good. So anybody who want to support this guy movement here and be a part of, we'll have his the link to his Facebook group page in the description below. But yeah, Gene, you make
Yeah.
some comments on this, man.
Yeah. I like the fact that they got a good number already, 23,000.
Right.
That's so hopefully, you know, during this holiday season, we have that some of those folks in these groups won't be looking at the rates that JB Hunt and TQL may be offering on some of these lows that may be hot lows.
They're
Hey,
going
you
to
can
try to
go
inch him up because of this right here. If it grows,
right.
yep,
Yeah. And so you may have some of those members of the groups that may be, tempted to go to the other side and say, hey, I'm gonna pull some of those lows, but for how long?
right.
That's gonna be the thing. You gonna eat good for a couple weeks and everything is right back to normal.
But
So I think
yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. I thought you was
no.
through.
So I was gonna say that whoever is all a part of this boycott, I think y'all should just you know stay strong and stick
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah, because see, if they could see really and truly like the way that I'm seeing it, if they just, TQL, JB Hunt, they're two of the biggest brokerages out there.
Right.
Um, if they just stay with it, just with those two, they would have to turn some of those accounts loose, some of those contracts loose because they can't move,
Hmm.
you know. And then if it get passed down to companies like CH Robinson and they
Yeah.
start doing the same thing, let them keep it.
Right.
Because if
Yeah.
you can get them, because honestly, and I know a lot of owner operators and small carriers, they okay with dealing with brokers. But if you could get them
Hmm.
back into the small brokerage's hand, where the shippers will start talking to the small brokerages, you'll most likely get a better
Probably.
fair
pro-
deal. Yeah,
Right.
because smaller brokers they don't have
The overhead for one.
yeah, big overhead costs. So
Right.
yeah, you probably dealing with somebody working out of a small office, somebody maybe
Or
working out of their home,
working from home. Yeah.
right? And they just trying to make a few dollars just to close the deal. So if you can
Hmm.
get these accounts back into the smaller brokers' hands, I think in smaller carriers' hands, I think it'll be more profitable,
Hmm.
a
Yeah,
lot
because
more profitable.
I'm pretty sure most truck drivers have a TQL or a JB Hunt story. Yeah, most owner operators of small carriers have a story. I seen a driver make a comment on this article once, and he
Your
said,
analytics so off. You should have said the majority.
"Yeah, the driver
Majority.
he said, I only been driving like 3 years, and I've been hearing so much about this TQL."
And he ain't got a taste of it yet. He been doing good.
Yeah, I think he's a company driver. Only been driving for three
Oh,
years,
that's
but he's been
considering
hearing a
being an
lot.
owner operator.
Yeah, I think he was considered being an owner operator, but he's been hearing a lot about TQL, just
I,
just
I
being a
bet he
part of these
has.
trucking forums.
Yeah, man. Uh, I never thought TQL would have got this. I don't know if TQL has gotten that bad or this new breed coming in just ain't tolerating it. like, had they really got that bad? TQL always have been considered the broker on the low totem pole.
Right.
Always the broker that's going to deal with the new carriers. Just
Yeah.
somebody,
But
a new carrier could gain experience with, basically. So,
but everything took a turn, over the years because we don't know how much freight they took on or how many more customers they took on during the pandemic. And so when a lot of carriers began to go out of business, and a lot of carriers they maybe when they started to kind of lose business and stuff, maybe they start
uh,
because didn't he say this guy that started the strike, Boston, Mike Boston, he said it started with a claim, right? A
yeah,
lot of them started saying they were getting claims and trailer repair, you know.
yeah. He said
So,
a recent damage claim from TQL for trailer repairs motivated him to take action. So it sounded like he did a power only.
uh-huh. And
Yeah,
he
it
said
sounded
he
like he did
wasn't
a
the
power
only
only
one.
load,
If
huh?
one of the other people that were in his group that experienced a lot of people that experienced like the same thing, TQL trying to charge them for charges for trailer
If he
repairs and claims and stuff.
Well, if he had all the people that dealt with that, he probably had 200,000 people in his group. I'm being honest. I'm really
Yeah,
being honest.
yeah,
And that's why I hope a lot of guys, see this video so they can go join his group. I'm going to go join his group
right.
and be a part of, just so he can have the numbers. And uh if he send a petition around, I'm gonna sign it.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, that would be a good idea because, like he
yeah.
said, it was accusations for stealing money and overcharging for repairs.
Mhm.
So it's
And
no.
by the way, he was covered by overdriveonline.com. We're going to leave the link uh, in the description to all these topics that we discuss, so you can go read them for yourself as well. And by the way, please don't forget to subscribe, support our channel. We are really trying to grow this channel because we got some valuable content to really put out here to you guys based on our
Yes, sir.
experience in the trucking industry. But go
Yes,
ahead,
sir.
Gene. I just wanted to slide it in there.
No, I was just basically just making that reference or pointing out that um, he had a lot of other carriers who shared common interests, who had shared the common. Uh, Basically, the same thing happened to them with repairs and claims.
Let,
you
let,
know.
let me tell you how we got started, because I just gave a summary.
Okay.
But this whoever the broker is, he probably fired now.
Okay.
What happened was he was conversating with the broker in the email. The broker made the mistake, and you know how they do the BCC on the emails.
Mm-hmm.
He mistakenly and did a CCC. CC. I said CC
Oh,
three
okay.
times.
Yeah, yeah. See,
Yeah,
see.
he mistakenly did a CC and CC in all the
Oh, okay.
carriers that he had initially put that bolo out to about that load. So
Mm-hmm.
when he did that, and the carrier saw the discussion going on, they took sides with Boston, and that's
Right.
how the Facebook group, ended up starting, thanks
Okay.
to a TQL broker.
Hmm. So, so, so ass off to that broker.
Yeah, he made a bad mistake when he did that right there. He started
Hey,
some shit.
that let you know it was time for something like that to happen. So guys could
Right,
kind of get,
yeah, yeah. There
yeah,
wasn't nothing but God in that,
right,
to shake them up. But uh they're in the Pennsylvania area. I'm assuming a lot of his supporters may be in the Pennsylvania area too. So don't y'all take y'all ass over to the PA trying to pull lows out there because y'all like, oh yeah, the rate's going up. Don't do that.
nah,
Let's all work together, man. Let's be right with each other, man, and stop cutting each other throat, man. When I
right,
came in the industry years ago, people would always say this is a cutthroat industry. I never understood what they meant by that until I became an owner operator and I understood what they meant by that. It's not that a lot of guys intend to cut your throat. That's just how the market's set up.
Hmm.
The market set up where everybody trying to underbid each other. So
Right.
let's change that narrative. Let's
It
try
can
that.
be done. It can be done.
Yep. Yep. Let's try that. But yeah, but that's our show for today. We just wanted to bring those topics. So again, thank you for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe and email us as well at feedback at thetruckerslounge.com. We love
All
you. Be
right.
safe out there.
All right.